In this third and extended installment of Panic, Johnny enters a deep dream state flight of fancy, induced by anti-anxiety meds given to him by the hospital staff. He finds himself inserted into the lives of many magnificent art subjects inside of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and comes to their rescue by revealing flashes of his true self.
Hundreds of tourists converge on the large staircase outside the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the ornate 2 million-square-foot limestone building in New York's posh Upper East Side. Giant pillars grace the entrance, and colorful exhibit banners move in the breeze. Diane Saster, mid-30s, an attractive socialite, rolls a stroller up to the entrance of the Met. Gabbing to a friend, she is oblivious to her 3-year-old son, Johnny Daniel Saster, who is happily licking a soft chocolate ice cream cone. When they near the towering steel doors, Johnny whips down the stroller visor to conceal his cone. Inside the Met, Johnny peeks out at the sky-lit dome-shaped cupolas, the grand arches, the 100-foot-high ceilings, and the magnificent flower arrangements. Diane pushes Johnny's stroller through the halls, past the old master paintings, chatting intensely with a female friend. Johnny pushes up the stroller visor when a painting grabs his attention. He stares at Rembrandt's Man in Oriental Dress, a tantalizing portrait of a larger-than-life older man wearing a turban and a richly embellished cloak. Johnny gazes into the man's menacing eyes, mesmerized and a little afraid. His fingers start to tingle. He climbs out of the stroller, ice cream cone in hand, and inches toward the painting. Diane, still engrossed in conversation with her friend, is oblivious. Johnny starts to run straight toward the painting, dripping ice cream cone in hand. He trips on a security wire directly in front of the masterpiece. In slow motion, the chocolate swirl cone flies in the air and lands smack in the middle of the Rembrandt. The mush flows down the face and then the chest of the turbaned man in the painting, sliding down the length of his exotic costume and eventually, with a few horrified tourists and museum staff looking on, hits the floor. A hush descends upon the hall. Diane turns to see the melted mess on the priceless painting, on Johnny's face, and on the floor.
John Saster! What have you done? Oh my God!
Johnny freezes. He starts to tremble. Oscar Sparks, an avuncular security guard with wiry silver hair, approaches the boy.
Don't worry, son. I'll take care of it.
Diane walks right up to the museum guard.
I'm so sorry. I turned my back for one moment and...
Just then, an intimidating female museum curator runs up to the painting, looks at Johnny and scolds.
No! Oh, you little monster! You little shit! How did you get ice cream in here?
Pale with fear and panic in his eyes, he crawls back into the stroller.
How could you let this happen?
The curator snarls at Diane.
This is going to cost you dearly.
Diane, shocked, simply hands the outraged woman her card. She starts to push Johnny down the hall, and the museum curator follows. Diane stops next to a raft of inscribed benefactors' names listed alphabetically on the wall. With her forefinger extended, she points. Richard Avedon, Bill Blass, Michael Bloomberg, David Rockefeller, Martin and Diane Saster.
Whatever it costs to restore it, I assure you, we'll take care of it. As you can see, we are not exactly tourists in for the day. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
It's years later. Diane is at home with Johnny in the family's 1030 Fifth Avenue apartment building in their penthouse. The 10-year-old boy is asleep on a Saturday morning when his father, a stern corporate lawyer type, sticks his head in the bedroom and commands.
Up and at 'em, Johnny.
Johnny opens his eyes, slowly, still half asleep, with his head stuck to his Pharaoh comic book next to his pillow.
5 more minutes?
Sorry, son. Not negotiable. And don't blame me. It's the tyranny of time, young man.
Johnny stumbles toward the kitchen table for breakfast. He munches on organic, sprouted grain cereal while keeping his eyes glued to his comic book. A warm-hearted housekeeper, Consuelo Lopez, pours extra milk into his cereal.
Is that enough, niño?
The boy grins and gets back to his book. Diane stares at the wall-sized day planner looming behind Johnny's head. The calendar is full of scheduled activities for karate, piano, fencing, archery, show jumping. It's booked, down to every half hour of every day of the week.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Saste. Really, I am. But I've looked. There are no more hours in the day.
Oh, nonsense, Consuelo. We must fit in a college exam prep course. He has to start now if he's going to get into Harvard.
Johnny, immersed in his pharaoh, doesn't catch any of this conversation. Back at school the following week, at his private day school, Johnny sits quietly at his desk, secretly reading. A comic book page opened to a regal pharaoh who's holding a golden scarab. The comic lies hidden within the pages of his Latin book. Valerie Connors, the prettiest girl in the class with long auburn ringlets, sits next to him. He glances furtively at her with admiration. She rolls her eyes at him. He goes back to his comic book, ignoring the Latin teacher who is addressing the students.
Veni, vidi, vici. Can anyone tell me what that means?
The teacher, squinting his eyes and focusing squarely on Johnny, approaches. The boy doesn't see him coming, and continues to read about Pharaoh's exploits.
Johnny?
Huh?
Mr. Saster, what did I just say?
Weenie? Weenie weenie?
The class breaks out in uproarious laughter. The teacher yanks Johnny's comic book out of the Latin primer and starts to read to the class.
My queen, you are the most beautiful in all the universe under the gods. I have something to share with you. It is this golden scarab.
Hearing these all but sacred words, Johnny smiles sheepishly at Valerie, who blushes.
Why did you look at me when he read that?
She whispers, looking annoyed. Matt Spencer, a heavy-set bully, jumps up from his seat, fist-pumping to the ceiling.
Ha ha! D-Saster's got a crush on Valerie.
Yuck!
Valerie looks embarrassed.
Stay away from me, Johnny D-Saster.
The rowdy students laugh and scream in unison. They pound on their desks in a deafening frenzy. Disaster! 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 Johnny slumps in his seat, frozen in humiliation. A few days later, Johnny, carrying the same comic book, bounds up the wide limestone stairs leading to the Met's main entrance. He walks briskly up to the second-floor galleries, where he spots his old friend Oscar, the security guard, now in his 60s. He's standing next to John Singer Sargent's elegant Madam X portrait.
Oscar!
Johnny shouts as he runs to his friend and hugs him.
How you doing, young man? You still reading those pharaoh tales, I see.
Yeah. This one's about a slimy art thief out to steal ancient Egyptian pieces for his collection of evil.
Ah, I see. Well, follow me then. I've got something to show you.
Oscar leads Johnny through the Met's famous Egyptian art wing. Bright sunlight shines through the cavernous atrium's sloping glass wall, which rises to the 200-foot-tall ceiling. Johnny can see his family's apartment building across Fifth Ave through the paneled glass.
What, by the way, is it about that comic book of yours?
Oscar asks.
The pharaoh's soul began its journey, its fight against evil, when he had to protect his golden scarab and its power from being stolen by a thief named Saya. He is bad news because he dresses in different disguises in order to trick people into trusting him.
Johnny tells Oscar.
But how does Pharaoh spot evil?
Oscar chimes in.
You know, evil sometimes lurks in places you'd never expect. In a way, that's what evil is all about. We must watch for the great deception.
I guess he just feels it in his gut. He's Pharaoh, you know.
Johnny and Oscar continue their conversation as they walk past the stunning Temple of Dender, 2 sandstone pillars flanking its entrance.
This is what I wanted you to see.
Oscar says, pointing to the sarcophagus of Werschnefer, a black granite tomb 12 feet long, 5 feet deep, and covered by a clear lucite lid. Oscar quietly slides open the tomb's cover a crack. Johnny peeks in and sees a tiny gray mouse running around.
She lives here. She's hiding out. She's an ancient Egyptian princess come back to life.
Oscar picks the mouse up. Johnny smiles.
Cool beans. A mini Nefertiti. You're not going to have to get rid of her, are you?
Oh, no. I'm just going to let her loose in the park.
This sarcophagus seems like a sweet place to hide out. Kinda dark, though.
Well, she's a very smart mouse, aren't you, princess? I mean, queen.
A few days after that visit, Johnny sits in the back of his parents' large black Mercedes sedan as the car speeds down a winding road in the wooded countryside. Diane looks back at her son.
Dear, shouldn't you be concentrating on the competition today instead of reading that silly book? This is a big event. These are talented jumpers, you know.
The Pharaoh's not silly, Mom. Actually, he's a super cool dude.
Johnny says.
You just don't get it.
Martin glances at his son in the mirror. Johnny is thumbing his nose at him.
Enough, Johnny. Get serious, for God's sake. You have to focus on today's event,
he says as they drive under a banner reading Long Island Junior Show Jumping Classic.
Now remember, concentrate on keeping your heels down.
Diane adds.
But I don't think the horse Dad chose is right. He's way too big.
Johnny's voice quavers as he squirms in his seat.
Your dad paid a lot of money for that horse,
Diane admonishes as they exit the parking lot and walk briskly toward the stables. The young equestrians line up with their horses. Johnny is by far the youngest and the smallest in the group. Diane and Martin mingle with the other well-heeled guests, all attending the culminating event of the fall social season. White refreshment tents line the riding arena. White-gloved waiters in black ties serve refreshments, along with caviar. Chic women sip champagne. Men smoke cigars, leaning against the white fence in conversation. Martin and Diane settle into their seats in the bleachers to watch. An announcer's voice bellows over the loudspeaker.
And now we have last year's champion, with the record for the fastest time, riding his winning gray thoroughbred. They are the team to beat in this year's competition.
A 14-year-old boy expertly enters the ring. He tips his black helmet to the audience as he trots by, and the audience applauds politely. The horn blows. The youth controls his horse easily with confidence and poise. He breezes through the various jumps with precision and speed. The audience applauds heartily. Martin leans over to the attendees in front of him.
My son is next. His mother rode for Harvard.
Next up is our newest challenger, John Saster, riding his dark bay.
Johnny nervously enters the arena. His horse is so large that he can't even get his legs halfway down its body. Sweat mats his bangs. He looks wan.
Do his stirrups look short to you?
Diane whispers to her husband.
No, he's fine. That's a babysitter horse he's on. Take a chill pill, Diane.
The starting horn sounds. Johnny's horse takes off running. The boy clings tightly to the saddle and clears the waterfall jump. They race toward the bigger second jump and its supporting barrels. They clear it, but the horse is becoming more and more agitated and dangerously out of control. Johnny tries to rein in the horse, but is not strong enough.
Our rider has missed the third jump and is off course. A disqualification, I'm afraid,
states the announcer. As an equestrian judge waves a red flag, Martin stands, incensed.
Disqualified? Don't you think that's a bit excessive, Judge?
All those around him bow their heads in embarrassment at his outburst. Meanwhile, there seems to be no stopping the horse, despite Johnny's desperate attempts to restrain him. The boy is in panic as he rushes past his parents. Diane yanks on her husband's blue and white seersucker jacket to get his attention while he bickers with the judge.
We've got a problem.
She begins to shriek.
Heels down, Johnny! Heels down!
Johnny heads straight for the biggest jump. He shuts his eyes while the horse goes for it. They clear it. But then Johnny sees they are headed straight for the huge arena fence and the outlying pasture. The powerful steed sails over the enclosure with Johnny barely hanging on. In seconds he's flying through the air and lands chest down in horse dung. The gelding then gallops straight into the champagne tent, tipping over tables and scattering waiters and guests. It suddenly stops at the crudité platters and starts munching on carrots and celery. Johnny stands up, caked in horse manure. His parents run up to him.
Are you okay, dear?
His mom asks. Johnny nods.
Sorry, Dad.
It's all right, son. You'll just have to try harder next time. Let's get you out of here.
The boy, head down, walks past the crowd with horse droppings clinging to him. As he cuts through the reception tent, people recoil. One onlooker can be heard saying,
Poor kid. Unmitigated disaster.
Back home, Consuelo consoles the boy at the kitchen table.
I made Cuban rice pudding, your favorite, niño.
Johnny digs in with a spoon and a smile. Diane and Martin enter, still looking put out after the ordeal.
Now, Consuelo, what did I say about feeding him rice pudding? You know I'm trying to keep him on a low-carb diet. Healthy stuff, you know.
Diane scolds, taking the bowl away.
Yes, sorry. It's only a little bit for the boy.
Martin sits next to his son at the table.
Don't let what happened today get you down, okay, champ?
He begins, with a shoulder hug.
It wasn't really a failure. It was deferred success.
Johnny looks confused. He is not buying it.
Deferred success.
That's right. Now off to bed.
But, Dad, I don't...
Shh, off to bed.
Johnny retreats to his bedroom. It's minimally decorated, without goofy boy stuff. There are stacks of books on the nightstand, Ivy League admissions for dummies, AP French, War and Peace. On top of the stack is Pharaoh. He quickly grabs the comic, jumps into bed, and pulls the sheet over his head. His mom and dad enter a few minutes later and laugh when they see his hunched-up figure under the sheet with a flashlight.
Hey, kiddo, you asleep?
Martin asks. Diane pulls back the sheet and hears a giggle.
Not those cursed comic books again. How many times do we have to tell you?
But I did all my homework, and tomorrow's Saturday.
Enough!
She exclaims.
Go to bed. Your piano lesson's at 9 tomorrow morning.
When that dreaded lesson ends at 10 a.m. the next morning, Johnny makes for the stack of comics next to his bed, but they are gone. All of them. He tears his room apart looking for them.
Consuelo! Consuelo! They're gone.
Consuelo runs in and sheepishly hands him a folded note. With his folks off to a weekend brunch, the sprawling apartment is silent except for Johnny's deep breathing. Hesitantly, he reads the note aloud in front of his beloved housekeeper.
Johnny, until your grades improve and you start showing more enthusiasm for your extracurricular activities, there will be no more comic books. It's for your own good. Fondly, Mom and Dad.
Crimson-cheeked, he rails.
No! My own good? How can they do this to me?
Sorry, niño. I truly am sorry.
I need to talk to them. When are they coming home?
Not until late. It's gonna be all right. Don't you worry.
She says with a comforting hug, and leaves the room. Johnny pounds his fists into his pillow, but then a certain calm comes over him, and he slinks out his bedroom. Quietly, without alerting Consuelo, he sneaks into his parents' walk-in closet and shuts the door behind him. He yanks down his mom's coats and hats, dresses and gala gowns. Next come his father's pinstripe suits, ties, hats, until there's nothing left in the closet except a black box on the top shelf in the very back. He manages to climb up the shelving, reaches the box with his fingers, and boom, the comic books come tumbling out. Clutching the first installment of Pharaoh, his fave, he's all smiles.
Ah, there you are.
Holding his treasured find close to his chest, he walks over to his parents' big window overlooking the Egyptian wing of the Met. An idea sparks. He nods and utters,
Yes, that will work perfectly.
Back in his room, Johnny grabs his backpack and fills it with a digital camera, walkie-talkies, binoculars, and night vision goggles. He grabs his Yankees cap and runs out the door, right past Consuelo, who's not able to hear over the noise of the dishwasher. In a flash, he slips by the building's doorman, darts across Fifth Avenue, and runs up the museum steps. He waits until someone exits, and then sneaks in through the slightly ajar door and past the preoccupied female security officer while she inspects someone's bag. Light on his feet, he glides toward the Egyptian wing and the sarcophagus of Vorschnefer. Some hours later, Johnny watches a security guard guide patrons out of the giant atrium at closing time. When the hall is cleared, he slides back the lucite cover of the giant black crypt and climbs in. He looks about. No mouse, just silence inside the granite tomb. He flicks on a tiny reading light and shakes off the spookiness. Content, He peels back the plastic cover of his comic book and begins to read. Back in the Saster apartment, Consuelo carries a tray of food down the hall and knocks on Johnny's bedroom door.
Johnny, you really should eat something.
His room is a mess, and he's gone. She races through the apartment.
Johnny, come out. This isn't funny anymore.
When she gets to the master bedroom, she sees the closet door ajar. It looks like a burglary. Clothes and accessories are strewn about. She grabs the phone and calls Martin at his office, leaving a message.
Mr. Saster, come home quick. I think there's been a burglary, and Johnny is not here.
Johnny is having the time of his life reading Pharaoh inside the stone coffin. He reads aloud.
Are you ready, my beloved, to experience the wonder of the golden scarab? From the temple of Isis to the temple of Dendor, we will travel to places as never before. Azum Mazeh, Azum Mazeh.
A magical swirling cloud of gold sparkles floats out of the sarcophagus. Johnny has cast a spell. A luminescent cloud now swirls around the Egyptian art hall in the moonlight, and then wafts throughout the entire museum. Johnny is oblivious to the magic, smiling as he flips page after page of Pharaoh, engrossed. Suddenly there's a loud crack. Someone is banging a wooden walking stick on the lucite cover above. The cover lifts, and a giant hairy arm reaches in and grabs him by the back of his neck. Frozen in fear, Johnny is now face to face with the Clockmeister, the giant turbaned man portrayed in Rembrandt's Man in Oriental costume. The larger-than-life noble Slav persona from centuries past is but inches from Johnny's nose, so close that he can feel the scruffy whiskers on the man's wrinkled, scowling face. Johnny notices the outwardly unpleasant old man is wearing dangly earrings, gold medallions, and a silk shawl over an enormous gold-embroidered fur-trimmed cape.
I know you.
The old man growls.
What? Who are you?
You're coming with me.
He snaps, dragging Johnny along by the scruff of his neck. Back at the sarcophagus, there is hushed movement. Saya, the evil thief from the comic book, emerges from the depths of the black granite coffin. He sports a long square beard and a tall headdress. He darts behind a sphinx-like sculpture, emerging seconds later disguised as a modern museum curator in a three-piece suit.
It's not just me he's cast out.
Saya mutters to himself.
He's awakened the entire museum. Marvelous. Now then, I must stay close to the boy. He'll lead me to the golden scarab, as it usually seeks out the hands of the innocent and naive. But not for long.
By now, the Clockmeister is climbing up the Met's main marble staircase, dangling Johnny in the air, on his way to the second floor of the vast museum.
Who are you?
Johnny demands.
You will address me as Clockmeister, or simply Master.
A beam of light reflects off the walls down the darkened hallway.
And quiet, you might alert the beam of the behemoth.
The behemoth. What?
Asks the boy, struggling to get free of the giant man's grip.
Say one more word, boy, and I'll...
In the Hall of European Paintings, in the hallowed Rembrandt wing, the man in the turban ushers Johnny to a portrait painting, missing its subject, with a small plaque next to it that reads, Man in Oriental Costume 1632 Rembrandt, Dutch, 1606 to 1669. Johnny turns to the man, staring at his dirty fingernails and the dandruff on his robe. Just as the boy puts two and two together, Clockmeister grabs him by the belt buckle and arm and spins him around like a windmill. Johnny screams.
Whoosh!
Magically, the painting opens up, and Johnny's launched into it. Clockmeister follows into the old master's portal with an awkward leap, and Saya, peering from behind a pillar, quickly follows them into the painting. Johnny finds himself, discombobulated, on the floor of the Clockmeister's workshop, circa 1632, in a place called Winkel, Holland. He coughs from the cloud of shavings he sent billowing into the air. Clock bells ring, wind chimes tinkle in the distance. A powerful stench of pig manure wafts through the window.
This is weird.
He mutters, groggily shaking his head in disbelief.
What the?
After brushing himself off, Johnny explores the tiny workshop. It's filled with ornate mechanical clocks in various states of disrepair. He sees astronomical charts, sundials, and precision tools strewn about the dimly lit room. A beam of sunlight shines through the leaded glass windows. Outside he sees a European town. He looks, wide-eyed, at townsfolk wearing wooden clogs and dark, stiff, uncomfortable-looking clothes as they stroll past. Saya is cleverly disguised as the town mayor, its burgermeister, wearing a blonde wig, spectacles, Dutch garb, and clunky wooden shoes. He looks over at Johnny through the window of the clockmeister's shop and waves to him. Johnny waves back, unaware the mayor is actually the cunning thief from ancient times. A dark shadow fills the shop doorway. The clockmeister enters the building and pushes Johnny into a seat in front of a row of clocks in various stages of production.
You, boy, will be my new apprentice.
Your apprentice?
Yes, you are obligated.
The looming, turban-touting figure declares, with a mix of fierceness and whimsy. The clockmeister's white cat sits on a stool next to the old, baggy-eyed man, licking the spot on the master's gilded robe where Johnny had tossed his ice cream cone as a 3-year-old.
Wait. Huh?
The clockmeister slams his fist on the rickety desk.
Don't play the innocent naïf with me. You did this to my cloak. It's ruined. I must purchase a new one. You will work to pay off this debt, and then some.
Oh, yeah. I remember the ice cream cone. Chocolate. Whipped. Soft and creamy. Whoosh. Splat.
A sheepish, irrepressible grin comes over Johnny's face. Seeing no compassion in the eyes of the old geezer from centuries past, Johnny bows his head in a sign of youthful remorse, but well shy of repentance.
Enough chatter.
The old man preempts, handing the boy a paintbrush the size of a toothbrush.
It is your job to put a mahogany stain on all these clocks.
Listen, sir. I understand the idea of repaying a debt, but that'll take forever. And I gotta get back to my peeps, in New York. Is there anyone else working here?
Stop with this New York nonsense. What drivel. Perhaps you mean New Amsterdam, but it matters not. And no, there is no one else. I've fallen horribly behind on my inventions because my lazy apprentices have all quit. You're it, so to bed with you, for you begin work at sunrise. Chop, chop.
The clockmeister points to a tiny straw mat beneath the window. Johnny crawls on top and falls asleep instantly. The next day, after long, tedious hours applying stains to the old wooden clocks, a young boy, appearing to be around Johnny's age, peeks into the craftsman's shop. The pleasant-faced Dutch boy motions for Johnny to come outside. Seeing that the old man is deep in slumber, Johnny sneaks out into the charming town of Winkle, surrounded by rich green fields, windmills, and row upon row of tulips. Hand outstretched in a polite welcome, the village lad approaches Johnny.
What are you doing in there with that smelly old brute?
Paying off a debt. Painting clocks.
But you can't work for him. He's mean. He smells. He flings his dandruff everywhere. His nails are dirty. He never changes out of that ridiculous costume. And he doesn't pay on time. He makes you work impossibly long hours, telling you what to do all the time. And did I mention he smells?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm Johnny. Who are you?
He replies, offering a handshake.
I'm Sebastian. I was his last apprentice, one of 10 in the past 2 years. Nobody in town will work for him. He's impossible. Nothing is ever good enough for him, and it's always somebody else's fault. Yes, he's a genius, we all recognize that, but you might say he has a very low emotional intelligence that limits his success and drives everyone crazy. The closer you get to him, the crazier you become.
Still, I've got to pay off my debt to get back to my folks in the Big Apple.
You live in an apple?
No. That's just how Yankee fans like to refer to the big city back home.
He says, pointing to his hat. A shadow blankets them. Sebastian looks up and runs off.
Get out of here, useless boy.
The clockmeister barks at the fleeing lad. He grabs Johnny by the back of his jacket and drags him into the workshop. A hard rain begins to fall, pelting the shutters outside. The old Dutchman gets back to work on his latest invention, while Johnny painstakingly stains the ornamental clocks with the tiny brush. Looking over his shoulder at the brooding man across the room, he musters the courage to speak.
So what are you going to call your invention? Rock the clock? Urban Turban Time Machine?
The old man starts to pace the room, his hands wildly gesticulating.
I will call it the pendulum clock. I've got it down to losing only 1 minute a day. Eventually, I'll have it down to seconds. Seconds are the most precious thing. There are not enough seconds in a day to get everything done. I know it will work. I just need more time. Time to think. Time to create. Tempus fugit.
The clockmeister's impassioned soliloquy makes Johnny anxious, so he tries to play it low-key.
Yes. Time flies when you're...
Silence. What do you know about the wondrous metaphysical patina of time? You green behind the ears know nothing. Time, the limitless fourth dimension of our existence. It flows and can be measured.
Booms the voice from across the room. An even louder boom from the thunder outside rattles the wooden foundation of the shop as a nasty storm moves in.
Better yet, go to sleep and we will continue tomorrow.
As Johnny sleeps in the straw bed in the back of the workshop, the mad genius works late in the candlelight. There's a loud knock at the door. The clockmeister opens it to find the evil Saia, still disguised as the town mayor.
Come quick,
he says with a convincing Dutch accent, the wind howling outside.
What's wrong? It's late to come knocking at a city dweller's door.
Time has stopped. Lightning has struck the town clock. You must fix it, clockmeister. You and only you. Reset, recalibrate. Without time on schedule, how can we plan? How can we function? We all have our duties, our commitments to fulfill.
When?
Tonight. No, it's imperative. In, twee, drie, hop hop, clockmeister.
Impossible.
While the clockmeister paces the room beside himself, shouting,
Nee, no, impossible. What absurd nonsense. Fix time in the middle of the storm.
The stealthy Saia scans the cluttered cottage for the golden scarab.
Where is that slippery scarab?
He mumbles under his breath.
What did you say?
I was muttering, that's all. Nothing important. Except for the fact that tomorrow is summer solstice. And if the clock is not fixed, the entire town could fall apart. We could starve if the cows are not milked when they need milking. The tulips not clipped when they need clipping. Stores will not open and miss their deliveries. Food will spoil. And the children, they will miss school. Our town will be in a total state of chaos.
But, Bürgermeister, I have no trained apprentice. I can't climb up there myself. I am too old and fat.
That is true by all appearances. But if you don't repair it before morning, I will appoint a better suited clockmeister at sunrise.
But
that's final,
blurts the faux mayor, slamming the door and waking Johnny in the process. The frazzled clockmeister paces back and forth, throwing up his arms in despair.
What am to do? If he fires me, I'll never finish my invention. I'll be finished, destitute, a sewer rat. My life will be over. And they call me the noble Slav. My reputation will be in the gutter.
Is there anything else you're good at? Cars, radios, TVs, you know?
Johnny asks.
What nonsense you speak, boy. No, Time is all I know. Real time, calculated time, measured time, none of this dream time kvatsch. I've worked so hard my entire life to become head of the Clockmaker Guild. Now this with the clock tower. Ach, it will be a stain on my family name to lose it. Ja, a terrible, indelible stain.
The wrinkled septuagenarian sits defeated in his leather chair, on the verge of tears. Johnny paces the room, determined to find a solution. He places a consoling arm on the broad shoulders of this mysterious man from the Rembrandt portrait of generations past.
I'll climb up the clock tower for you. But I gotta tell you, I'm scared to death of heights.
What do you know about fixing clocks, lad?
Zilch. But I'm good with gadgets. I know how to work pretty much everything in this electronic edge catalog I have in my backpack. I think I can probably help you with the town clock, if I can, navigate my way up. In 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and lightning. How tall is it?
Just 300. Well, 333 feet to be exact. You would do that for me?
I'm here to repay my debt, right? So, if I help you, will you let me go?
Of course. Now there's no turning back. No matter how dangerous it becomes, no matter how bad the storm. And, by the way, why this fear of heights?
I'm not really sure.
Face your fear, boy, and we will conquer the tyranny of time.
Later that night, the clockmeister furiously drafts diagrams of the towering clock, complete with engineering notations and mathematical equations, on an open scroll. He shows Johnny a wooden scale model of the tower, with its giant balance wheel and drop weights. He points out weak spots in the scaffolding at the base and the 300-foot ladder up high. A plan of action is readied.
You must work quickly. There's lightning, wind, and...
What?
Fear, boy. Fear that makes you feel disconnected from reality, from terra firma, as it were. You must not let that fear take hold of you, for it only creates more fear in a vicious cycle, and you could lose your grip.
You didn't have to tell me that.
Johnny quips, an electric quiver running through his body.
I did indeed, for our future rests in your hands. I am too much of a coward. It's not that I'm too old or fat. I'm actually quite agile for an old geezer. It's just that I, truth be told, am terrified of doing anything other than thinking, of anything other than writing mathematical equations in some cloistered space. I'm all about logic. Inductive, deductive, recursive, probabilistic. I have no patience for people in general, no ability to be in the public eye, no social graces. That is why nobody wants to work for me. They have all fled. They call my workshop the social void. Rather sad. No, there is no way I will climb up the clock tower in front of thousands of cheering burghers. You, lad, on the other hand, have what it takes.
Johnny gulps. The clockmeister rolls the clock instructions up and hands it to him. The boy stuffs the plan in his backpack, grabs his jacket and Yankees cap, and motions the clockmeister to the door.
Let's go fix that clock. Tempus fugit.
Lightning cracks and thunder booms as the boy and the master craftsman struggle in the downpour, carrying a rickety 30-foot ladder along the slick, muddy cobblestone road through the town's center. The clockmeister slips and falls to his knees, but he manages to keep his turban on his head. Johnny helps him up, as the hard rain pelts their faces and the relentless wind pushes against them. A gust sends the Yankee cap aloft in the direction of a nearby windmill. They finally reach the tower clock, which looks much taller than it did from the workshop, terrifyingly taller. Johnny is worried, his heart races, he's hyperventilating. But he tries to conceal his fear by imagining he's back in a safe place, the cool, calm stone tomb in the Met. He looks at the old man in his rain-soaked turban, and the ridiculous sight makes him laugh. They can barely hear each other through the deafening sounds of storm. Johnny reaches into his backpack and pulls out 2 walkie-talkies. He turns them on and hands one to the clockmeister.
Here. Take this and use it to talk with me. Press this button, and when you're done, say, "Over and out."
What is this thing? Some remote voice box contraption? I want to know how it works. You know, the mechanisms, the mechanics. But there's no time.
It's one of our inventions. A walkie-talkie.
Johnny pushes the side button to show the clockmeister. The old master holds the gadget and speaks into it.
Follow my directions. Over and out.
He shouts.
That's great. But wait until I'm up on the clock tower, and do me a favor. Hold the ladder tight when I start up the scaffolding.
Whatever you do, don't look down. Ha ha! As above, so below.
Lightning cracks ever closer to them. Johnny takes a deep breath and starts the climb. Hand over hand, he hoists himself up the shaky scaffolding at the base of the obelisk-like tower, and then up the narrow ladder rungs toward the clock face 300 feet above. His mouth is dry and his body tingles, so much so that he's not sure his rubber legs can maneuver up the sheer wall rung by rung. The clockmeister and other onlookers gasp when Johnny slips 1/3 the way up the tower. He dangles from one arm and then manages to swing his foot back onto the ladder. He looks down, dizzy, his pulse quickening and his state of mind overwhelmed by vertigo.
Maybe this isn't such a good idea,
he shouts, voice cracking. As he starts back down the ladder and comes into voice range of the people below, the clockmeister runs to the foot of the scaffolding and motions wildly for Johnny to turn back around and continue his ascent.
What are you doing? No, no, wrong way. Up, up. There is no turning back, lad. To let doubt preempt is to swallow a dangerous pill. Boy, you must fix time. Think of your climb as time itself in motion. Each step is the tick of the clock, the back and forth of the free-swinging pendulum. Time merely quantifies the rate of change and a conscious experience. You are not dreaming. You are moving upward at a rate, a constant rate, and that is time, my boy. Face your fear. Climb, boy, climb, up the ladder. Keep pushing, and you're bound to know.
Johnny flashes a thumbs up, but inside he senses a wave of nausea coming on. He feels like he's stuck in a tunnel, somewhere deep in the bowels of the New York subway, trapped, claustrophobic. Suddenly a huge white bird, a snow goose, flies by and honks, snapping Johnny out of his frozen state. The boy gazes at the massive clock face above, and begins a renewed ascent.
I can do this,
he repeats, scaling the facade, one step up at a time. He reaches the tower's creaky metal footholds at the rim of the clock, trusting they will provide secure purchase even though they look unstable and daunting. The townsfolk below look minuscule, mere specks on an old master painting. That quick look down sets a whole new wave of dizziness and confusion in motion. Johnny feels suddenly like he could lose his grip. Through bleary eyes he can discern the damaged structure of the clock where lightning struck. The damage, it appears, was minimal.
I've got to focus,
he utters to himself. Thunder explodes nearby. Johnny picks out taunting images in the clouds, the faces of various snotty-nosed tormentors from school. An intense, overwhelming fear of falling overtakes him. As he hangs from one arm, he pulls his walkie-talkie out of his jacket and speaks into it.
Clockmeister. You there?
Over and out.
You have to say something first. Then say that.
Johnny says, exasperated.
Over and out.
No. I said you have to.
Lightning cracks nearby. Johnny grabs the side of the tower to steady himself and drops the walkie-talkie. It smashes against the tower.
You can do this, boy. You have to believe. Hello? Anyone home? Hello?
Repeats the clockmeister. He gets impatient and throws his walkie-talkie on the ground in frustration.
Ach, some invention.
Johnny can feel his heart pulsing through his skull. He feels faint. He's trembling and close to losing consciousness.
I can fall, or I can fly,
he says aloud, grinding his teeth. Resolved to not let helplessness overtake him, he gets a grip on the clock face and manages to pull out the clockmeister's intricate instructions for fixing the clock. He unrolls the scroll and stares at it, but he can't make out the clockmeister's illegible scribble, which turns into ink blobs in the downpour and wind. Drenched to the bone and woozy, Johnny grabs the backpack off his back and roots through it.
Ah, there you are.
He whispers to his multi-use Swiss Army pocket knife and his WD-40 oil canister. He starts to furiously unscrew certain bolts and tighten others, squirting the WD-40 lubricant over the hinges of the giant clock arms. He pushes down on the clock's hour hand with all his might. Then on the second hand. Nothing happens.
Crap. Come on, clock. Work!
At wit's end, he body slams the second hand, and miraculously, it starts to move again. Ever so slowly, with an enormous creak.
Yes.
He bellows, fist pumping to the crowd below. Telescope in hand, Clockmeister shouts,
"Yeah, he has done it! He has set time back in motion!"
Johnny's success in getting the clock to turn its gears has restored a sense of balance, and he wastes no time in adroitly scurrying down the footholds. Once within earshot, he shouts to his aged mentor,
Herr Professor Clockmeister, what time should I set it for?
Wait, I have to do some thinking, some calculations.
Hurry up. Please. It's the tyranny of time, and I'm cold and wet.
Yeah, patience, boy.
The old man pulls various instruments out of his pockets and starts scribbling equations on a piece of parchment. He stares at the sun and the precise shadow coming off of a sundial-like device.
Ah, yes, 3:59 p.m., precisely. You must make haste back up the ladder, lad, for your ascending pace is part of my calculation.
Johnny races back up the rungs and footholds, turning the large clock hands to the exact spot. The giant clock lurches back to working at the right time. The clock tower bells chime 4 times. Clockmeister leaps with celebratory joy as townsfolk follow suit. The boisterous crowd circles round the ebullient timekeeper, who has won their admiration and put a stop to all the disparaging talk of yore. Only the mayor stands apart, fuming. Johnny puts the tools back in his pack and starts the long descent, reaching the handheld ladder he had dragged through the town with the old man. Clockmeister is so obsessed with hugging everyone around him that he takes his hands off the ladder. It spins in the mud, with Johnny clinging to it and acrobatically hanging on.
Tempus fugit,
he shouts as he flies off the ladder, but his shout brings Clockmeister round, fast enough to catch him.
Nice job up there, lad.
Thanks. It was nothing.
So, how did you do it? You positively saved the town from ruin. You followed my instructions, Ja.
Johnny nods. The two stroll through the town as the crowd, with young Sebastian among them, heads off in cheery spirits. The storm has passed. Time has been restored. Arm around Johnny's shoulder, Clockmeister says,
Young man, you can now consider your debt paid. I would have been fired without your help. How will I replace you?
Master, I hate to tell you, but you'll never find another apprentice unless you make some changes.
Changes?
Well, frankly, you smell. You're bad-tempered. You don't pay well and never on time, and did I mention you smell?
Sebastian, within earshot, bursts out laughing, hand over mouth, with giddy incredulity. Johnny takes his deodorant stick out of his soaked backpack, pulls of the cap, and hands it to the Clockmeister.
Try this. It might help.
Old Spice.
Clockmeister smells it, then licks it.
No. You use it. Under there.
Johnny corrects, pointing to his armpits.
Ah, I see. Fascinating. A time-sequenced stench sanitizer, is it? Anyway, as the Bible says, better to have a good name than to use good perfume.
And one more thing. You might want to take off your cloak now and then. Maybe even wash it. It looks hot, stiff, oppressive.
You think it will help?
Johnny nods.
That's probably why you're so mean. You're always hot under the collar.
Perhaps, but people won't recognize my nobility if I don't wear this cloak.
Just give it a go. And that twirly cloth thing on top.
Clockmeister removes his turban, revealing a tiny tuft of baby-like white hair. Then he removes his fur-lined cloak and hangs it on a hook inside the workshop. He stands a much tinier person now, clad only in a sweat-stained undershirt and long johns. He takes a deep breath, almost a sigh of resignation, as the breeze from the window lifts his gossamer hair. He takes in the fresh air and smiles, arms wide open.
Maybe I'll only wear it on special occasions. Ja?
Yes. In the midst of the crowds.
A few days later, Johnny and the Clockmeister are seated at the dinner table with Sebastian and the other former apprentices. They feast on a spread of fresh-cut herring, wild duck, berries, and other delicacies. The workshop is now much tidier. The walls have been painted, the sawdust swept out the door, and new furniture and paintings have been brought in. As for the old man, his nails are clean and clipped, his jowls are free of whiskers and scruff, and his single tuft of hair is neatly combed and turban-free. Johnny stands as if to make a toast.
I would like to make an announcement. The Clockmeister has promised that if you all come back to work for him, he'll increase your salaries, pay on time, be in a better mood, and wait for it. Wash regularly. Right, Clockmeister?
Oh, yes. Being cooler has made a big difference. I feel wunderbar.
So, guys, will you come back to work? Give him one more chance.
Johnny asks. Sebastian nods, hesitantly, and the others follow suit. Clockmeister shoves roasted duck around for all, sneaking a gulp of ale in between, then bam, slams his fist on the table. Everyone reels back, fearful of his wrath.
Enough talk. Let's go.
The old man smiles widely for the first time. The boys let out a sign of relief and scramble out the door with the new town heroes. After a brisk walk, they arrive at a large field near the revived clock tower. A banner flutters in the breeze emblazoned with the words, Winkle Summer Solstice Festival. The field is covered in billowing fabric canopies. Jugs of wine and barrels of beer are being copiously consumed by the happy townsfolk. Jugglers, acrobats, singers, and magicians entertain the lively gathering. The shadowy Bürgermeister works the crowd and ascends the town clock scaffolding, where a speaker's platform has been erected.
Attention, please! Attention, please!
He shouts, banging a big brass pot. The crowd gathers around the platform.
Will the Clockmeister and his talented apprentice please join me?
Clockmeister and Johnny ascend the podium. The Burgermeister ceremoniously holds up a key to the city and prepares to hand it to Johnny.
This is for your bravery and skill in repairing the town clock, the tallest clock in the world.
With all due respect, sir, it wasn't me who fixed the clock. Yes, I was up on the ladder, but the real hero was the noble Clockmeister himself. I merely served as his eyes and arms. His brilliant, mathematically precise instructions made the clock work. I know nothing about clocks. That man is a genius.
Ahem. I stand corrected then. My humble apologies, Clockmeister.
The shifty Burgermeister hands the key to the beaming Clockmeister, taking the opportunity to secretly pat him down for the elusive golden scarab. The unsuspecting Clockmeister smiles at Johnny, then waves proudly to the crowd. Later in the day, Johnny and the old master stroll past a field of harvested hay toward a red barn. With a heavy hand, Clockmeister points to the barn as tears roll down his jowly cheeks.
I have to go now,
Johnny says, sadness in his voice.
Yeah, I know. It is time. Go, boy, throw that big red door in the barn, and you will find your way back.
Clockmeister gives Johnny a hug.
Boy, wait a minute. I never got your name.
It's Johnny D. Saster.
Johnny D. Saster? That's odd.
My mother insisted on keeping the middle initial as a sign of respect for my grandfather, whose name was Daniel. I know. It's strange, but what can I do?
The tower chimes ring out. Johnny heads to the barn door.
Goodbye and thank you, Johnny D. Saster. Tot ziens, as we say.
Johnny takes one last look at the pastoral landscape, waves to Clockmeister, and steps through the barn door. His eyes well up, and he has a lump in his throat as the chimes echo in the background. His head spins with emotion, leaving a new friend behind, homesickness and salivating anticipation of diving into some of Consuelo's rice pudding. Raw herrings definitely not for everyone. And then there's that little mouse in the sarcophagus that needs checking on.
Gotta go. It's been real.
The old man turns to leave. He's startled to bump into the seemingly ever-present Burgermeister, who emerges from behind a tall picket fence.
Ach, Herr Burgermeister, what brings you out this way? I did not see you approaching.
Honorable Clockmeister, I have been searching for a missing golden scarab, an historic family heirloom of great sentimental value. Have you seen one in your travels, or perhaps heard about it in the chatter of the townsfolk?
No, sounds rather arcane, but I'll keep my eye out for it.
Many thanks,
the mysterious mayor replies, oozing ulterior motives. He nods and heads straight for the barn door.
Burgermeister, where are you going, Burgermeister?
Holding his turban fast in the wind, the Clockmeister watches the mayor disappear through the door after Johnny. As Johnny re-enters the Met inside the Temple of Dender, he hears the fading bells of the Dutch town. The clangs grow fainter and fainter as he walks past the sandstone gate of the Pharaonic temple.
Cool beans. I'm back.
He whispers, arms wide open, taking in the expanse of the atrium with renewed astonishment and unaware that Saya watches, from behind a pillar, dressed now as a modern-day museum curator with black wireframe glasses and a clipped goatee. He stealthily walks up to Johnny and taps him on the shoulder.
Having some delinquent fun in the museum, are we?
He sneers.
What brings you here so late to the magical temple of Dendor, a monument to the goddess Isis, her husband Osiris, and their son Horus?
Johnny starts to run. Saya grabs him.
What a bad fellow you are, breaking into the museum after hours. Are you a thief? Or perhaps an errand boy for an even bigger thief?
No, sir.
All right, young man, not to worry. You're safe with me. I remember what it was like to be an adventurous, or shall we say mischievous lad. I won't turn you in.
He whispers close to Johnny's ear while grabbing the boy's forearm with a vice-like grip. He drags the boy past glass cases filled with Egyptian artifacts and gold-covered pieces of jewelry, wonders from the Middle Kingdom of Pharaoh Mentuhotep II, and points to an empty display stand.
Now listen carefully. I'm the curator of the splendorous Egyptian collection, and I'm on an undercover mission. Our priceless golden scarab has gone missing. You haven't seen it, have you? This precious amulet and divine symbol of the sun god.
No, sir. By the way, I know all the curators here, but I've never met you. You do look kind of familiar.
People say I have one of those faces, and I'm what they call a behind-the-scenes curator. Tell you what, let's make a deal. I won't call the police and report you if you keep an eye out for the missing scarab. You know, as an informant, a snitch. Deal?
Deal.
Saya smiles ominously, then disappears into the bowels of the dark hall. Johnny spins around.
Sir? I have a question.
But the sketchy figure is nowhere to be seen. Johnny hurries over to the sarcophagus of Vershinifer, his ancient safe room with its mystical inscriptions of the sun's passage through the netherworld. He checks for the mouse. Still not there. He flicks on his portable lamp, climbs in and goes back to perusing his Pharaoh comic. All is calm and safe, yet not so much at the Saster household. Diane and Martin Saster move anxiously through their bedroom, with seasoned NYPD detective Frank Natoli looking on. Munching a glazed donut, he carefully eyes the torn-apart closet. Other officers search the room for clues.
No signs of forced entry. You think he could be at a friend's house and you just forgotten?
Natoli asks.
Impossible.
Diane blurts out, her slim frame trembling.
I mean, we have him on a tight schedule, down to the hour each day. There's no time for goofing around. I mean, for hours on end with no contact.
Were you having any problems with your son?
The detective probes, trying to be unobtrusive, but determined to find some leads.
Problems?
Yeah, you know, the typical stuff. A disagreement over something, mom or dad yells at the kid runs away, that sort of thing.
Martin is enraged.
Are you implying that we yell at our son?
We would never do that. We're strict, firm, yes, but yell? Never.
Diane insists.
Your housekeeper told me when she notified us of your son's disappearance that he had a problem with you taking away his comic books.
Oh, no. It's his fault. It was his stupid idea.
Diane says, pointing to her husband.
My fault?
Martin asks, his face red. The detective has no time for blame game antics.
Could he have just gotten angry and taken a walk down Fifth Avenue to cool off?
My son would never run away. Never.
Growls Martin, now pacing like a caged tiger and looking out the window from behind the pulled curtain. Diane bursts into a torrent of tears that smear her eyeshadow.
Let's check with the doorman. Time's of the essence in these kinds of situations. But you can count on NYPD. We'll get to the bottom of this real quick.
Downstairs, at the building's entrance, Martin and the detective question the doorman.
No, sir. I didn't see the boy leave.
The doorman says,
Come to think of it, I've never seen him go out on his own at night.
Back inside the ancient tomb at the Met, Johnny is engrossed in his comic. He reads aloud.
My queen, I'm afraid I'm leaving this world. Saya has cut my time here short. You must protect the golden scarab at all costs, for the person who owns it, who wears it as a sacred amulet, has more power than all the armies in the world. I will see you when you are with the gods. I promise. Even though my body has grown frail, my love for you will never weaken.
The romantic crescendo sparks an image of Johnny's school crush, Valerie Connors. Lost in thought, he's startled by the pattering of tiny dancing feet above him on the lucite. Graceful toes glide across the crypt's cover. Johnny freezes as the lid lifts slightly. A delicate hand demurely reaches in toward him. It motions with its index finger to come hither.
Ah. Who are you?
Johnny blurts out, scared and curious at the same time. He suddenly sees the face of a girl his age, having aged a few years since leaving Rembrandt's Holland. He recognizes her as the ballerina from the sculpture gallery upstairs come to life. Yes, the tiny Degas dancer, the one on a pedestal his mom would always point to and say,
Isn't she cute, Johnny?
The petite girl curtsies before him with a sweet, endearing smile, batting her long eyelashes and boasting her dainty ballet finery. She wears a pink and white ballet costume, with a tightly fitting bodice and a tulle skirt. Her blonde hair glistens and she sports a long braid with a pale satin bow. Her skin has a green-brown coppery glow in the moonlight. Johnny thinks, ah yes, the patina of time that Clockmeister talked about.
Bonjour, je suis Marie, prima ballerina.
Hi, I'm John Saster. Pleased to meet you.
I heard from the Clockmeister you solve problems.
Johnny climbs out of the sarcophagus. He blushes.
Really? He said that? I don't, not really, but I've fixed a problem or two now and then. But, right now, I just want to finish reading my book and get on home to my peeps.
Marie bows her head and starts to cry. It's a deep, sorrowful heave of emotion.
Tell me what's wrong. I mean, maybe I can help?
He offers, moving closer to console her with an outstretched hand.
Oh, merci, c'est magnifique. Come with me, very quietly. We must not trigger the beam of the behemoth.
Marie and Johnny run through the Greek and Roman art exhibit, past the Arts of Africa exhibit, and up the back steps to the second floor.
What do you mean? The beam of behemoth.
If the beam of the behemoth lands on you, you'll disappear.
Disappear? Where to?
Je ne sais pas. I do not know. But it must be a dreadful place. Nobody has made it back to tell the tale.
Marie takes Johnny by the hand. He smiles, awkwardly, as they walk past an empty pedestal with an inscription on its plaque that reads, Little 14-year-old dancer, Edgar Degas, French, 1834 to 1917.
That's where I usually stand. It gets lonely up here.
Marie whispers. They walk past Degas' paintings, the dancing class and rehearsal of the ballet on stage. They stop in front of another Degas oil, of two young ballerinas practicing in a dim studio. It's dated 1877.
It looks harmonious, n'est-ce pas?
Johnny nods enthusiastically, squeezing Marie's hand.
Well, it isn't. No,
She exclaims. Johnny is unprepared for the outburst.
I spend every minute of my day with those horrible, vicious corps de ballet girls. They're nothing more than hissing alley cats.
She continues, pointing in the Degas painting to a striking brunette girl with her leg extended on the ballet bar.
That's Genevieve. She's my understudy. She stabs me in the back every chance she gets. Little hussy.
Marie throws her arms up and hugs Johnny.
Well, sorry. There's not much I can do when it comes to mean girls.
My problem is, you see, I'm rather outstanding on stage, which makes me an outsider with the other girls. I have no friends. Can you help me?
When it comes to friends, I think you're asking the wrong person.
Mais pourquoi? Why?
Marie asks, but then she and Johnny notice a pivoting beam of light moving up the stairwell behind them.
Oh no, mon Dieu, the behemoth. Quick, hold my hand.
Johnny squeezes her hand. She backs them up, and they run toward the Degas painting of the two girls at the bar. Marie does a graceful ballet leap into the painting, and Johnny follows, clumsily, right behind her. Saya, lurking around the corner, steps out from the shadows and jumps into the painting behind them, just as the search beam approaches the Degas exhibit. With a thud, Johnny knocks over a small gray pail of water depicted in the dancers practicing at the bar by Degas. The brunette understudy, Genevieve, with her leg on the bar, and her redhead friend standing next to her, scowl at them.
Nincompoop!
Genevieve sneers.
You're late again. And who is this fool in his fool's costume you have brought along?
It's nice to see you too,
Marie replies, her words and expression dripping with sarcasm and contempt. Johnny uprights the pail, not sure if the girls are about to launch into combat.
Come, ignore them. They do not dignify a response,
Marie adds, throwing back her braid as they move to the back of the room. Saya appears through the rehearsal room door, cunningly disguised as the ballet director and master choreographer, a white-haired, distinguished man with impeccable posture and trim mustache. He claps his hands.
Positions, please. Line up, girls. Only one day until opening night, so make it count.
The pianist and violinists in the corner of the room play classical music. Marie, Genevieve, and the rest of the ballet company perform the opening piece. Marie, by far, appears the most talented dancer in the room. Her movements are elegant, fluid, gazelle-like. Her jumps are explosive. Her extensions are effortless. Grimacing, Genevieve watches her with envy. Johnny sits on a wooden stool, mesmerized, eyes widening as Marie performs 6 dazzling pirouettes in a row as the music reaches a crescendo.
Magnifique! Beautiful! Well done, Marie! Well done!
Chimes the director, who runs to the tiny dancer and kisses her hand.
Paris will be astonished by the unveiling of its new star tomorrow night.
With Marie's hand in his grip, the faux director turns his gaze to Johnny and winks. Across the room, Genevieve looks on, scowling at her rival. She whispers to her catty friends, her outsized ego in need of stroking. From any vantage point, it's clear she's planning to instigate a feud. Marie walks over to Johnny.
How was I?
Wow. Great. You were amazing,
He says, looking coldly at Genevieve, who continues to glare at Marie.
Ignore her. She's nothing.
Just then, a tall, handsome boy walks into the room and approaches Genevieve with a cocky strut and a big smile. She hugs him in a bear grip and turns her spiteful gaze back to Marie. She looks as if she is prepared to scratch her eyes out. Marie is crestfallen. Her glow is gone. She trembles a bit and grabs Johnny's hand.
Come, let's go.
They exit the building and walk down the streets of Paris in the rain.
Who was that guy?
Just some garçon. I knew him once.
Oh. A boyfriend?
What do you mean, a boyfriend? I did fancy him once. He's quite the athlete. But, well...
Well... what?
He wanted more of me than I was prepared to give. More than just kisses. I said no, and he left me. Just like that. I call him Philip the Fool. And he is a fool, being with her, that revolting, conniving joke of a dancer.
The two meander along quaint city streets, through flower markets and fruit stands. Johnny is taking in the hustle and bustle, which reminds him of the Big Apple.
You can stay with me tonight.
She offers, a gleam in her eyes.
But just so you know, we're a poor family in a little country cottage, so don't expect much.
I like being with you. I don't care where I am.
Bon, good. It's a bit of a walk.
When they reach the cottage, Johnny sees a plump woman, Marie's mother, in the kitchen making a stew for dinner.
Ma maman, she's sweet, but I can't let her see you.
Marie motions for Johnny to crawl up the backside of the house, with its stone ledges.
My bathroom window is open. Stay in the guest room next to my bedroom. I will bring you up some supper.
That night, Johnny overhears Marie and her mother talking about the satin dress the young dancer will wear at tomorrow's performance.
My dear, I put my soul and every dear penny I could into making this dress for you. You will be the talk of the town. And who knows, perhaps some fine gentleman suitor will notice.
Oh, Maman, stop that nonsense. But thank you, it looks beautiful.
His stomach gurgling from hunger, Johnny waits upstairs for Marie. A short time later, she arrives carrying a large china bowl, hearty aromas wafting about her. He gulps down the venison stew she saved for him, brown gravy splashed across his cheeks.
My, you were hungry.
Yeah, it's good.
Parfait. Parfait.
She giggles and leans over to give him a peck on his lips. He blushes and chokes on his food as she asks,
And you? Who do you live with?
My mom and dad. But right now, I sort of left home for a while.
Why did you leave home?
It's complicated. I got mad at my folks for taking away the one thing I really liked. And there was another reason.
What?
I wanted time to just be a kid.
I know what you mean. Precisely.
Their eyes meet and hold.
You are from?
New York.
Ah, New York. Oui, the Big Apple, Le Grand Pomme. I hear they have wonderful ballet there. You know, I want to succeed, to travel the world and perform. I want it so badly. Never mind the tendinitis. It's just the fear and the responsibility of what the crowd expects. And the persnickety ballet director, mind you. He demands so much. Sometimes I feel, well, lost. Simply lost. Mon Dieu, it's a lot to live up to.
Just then, Marie's cat walks in. Johnny sneezes, repeatedly.
Allergies. Sorry.
Marie, is that you?
Her mother's concerned voice rings out. The sound of heavy footsteps ascending the stairs sends Johnny's heart racing, and he gets a deer-in-the-headlights look.
Johnny! Johnny! Snap out of it! Hide under the covers, now!
Marie throws every pillow in the room on top of him to conceal his hunched-up frame.
Oh, Mama, just thought I'd beat the dust and cat hair off the furniture. Made me sneeze.
Okay, dear. But, I've never heard you sneeze like that. You sound congested. Now get to sleep. Your big day is tomorrow, mon petit.
Johnny and Marie spend hours talking about every topic under the moon. Finally, Johnny notices the hour.
It's late, Marie. And you have your moment in less than 24 hours.
Yes, but I so enjoy speaking with you. I feel at home, safe, understood. Still, you are right. I have trained every day for more than a year, and my poor maman has spent everything she has on my training and on making my dress. You can sleep here, on the couch, with Claude the cat. He is sweet and cuddly. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Marie. By the way, what is the name of the performance tomorrow?
The Pharaoh's Daughter, one of the great Russian ballets.
Oh.
Inside the Grand Opera the next evening, ballerinas climb the stairs and enter the Grand Hall for the final dress rehearsal before the performance. Johnny sits in the front row, enthralled by Marie and the others, all dressed in colorful warm-up suits. Across the aisle, on the far end, sits the brooding Philip. 10 minutes into the rehearsal, the French boy leaves the room. Johnny decides to find the men's room during a break, and, while he is walking down the hall toward the bathroom, he notices Philip furtively darting out of the ballerina's dressing room with a pair of scissors in hand.
What the heck?
Johnny wonders aloud, but doesn't think much of it. An hour later, with the crowds having found their seats in the sumptuous theater, the performance begins. Marie emerges on stage, elegant in her prima ballerina costume, a graceful tulle skirt, pink and airy like a cloud, cut short in the style of a tutu, and adorned with faux Egyptian ornamentation and jewelry. Someone says,
Elle est adorable.
As Marie takes the stage with a supple leap, Genevieve looks on from the side curtain and nods at her cherished Philip in the front row. He flashes her a thumbs up. Johnny notices the interaction. His eyes narrow. Something is up in the wings. When Marie goes to make her second leap, a huge cry of "new" echoes across the hall. Her ethereal costume is torn from neckline to knee, as if someone had delicately sliced the seam just enough so that it would hold until she began to dance. Marie screams at the top of her lungs. Her mother faints in the front row, the shock and humiliation too much to bear. Holding on dearly to what is left of her costume, with her body partly exposed, Marie points an accusing finger at Genevieve.
You did this! You caused this to happen! You coquette! You good-for-nothing, talentless wretch!
And then, pointing to Philip in the orchestra seating, she bellows for all to hear.
And you, vile accomplice! How could you?
With that, Marie races across the stage and grabs Genevieve by the hair, pulling and tugging. The crowd is up in arms, in astonishment. Johnny doesn't know what to make of this. When he sees Marie and her rival begin to claw at each other like feral cats, something inside of him says,
"Oh, wow. This is getting out of hand."
He smashes through the string section of the orchestra, leaps on stage, and rushes to separate the dueling dancers. As Johnny's attempting to separate the two fighting ballerinas, Philip leaps up on the stage to take a swing at him. Johnny dodges the blow and decks the French lad with a karate kick to the kidney.
Merde!
Philip moans.
Finis!
Suddenly, Saya appears on stage amid the hubbub. Johnny is stunned at how effortlessly he dispatched the Parisian teen.
"I guess those taekwondo lessons pay off."
He mutters to himself, massaging his sore foot. The audience, upper-crust Parisians in black-tie attire and expensive gowns, is abuzz. They applaud the heroics of Johnny, coming, as he did, to the rescue of the prima ballerina, whom they assume is the innocent victim of a sinister plot. When the police arrive on stage and begin to question Johnny about the altercation, the crowd boos loudly. All the while, Saya, still acting the concerned director, slyly searches the stage for the scarab. Near the curtain wings, Marie and Genevieve are talking in calmer tones. The understudy can be heard, tears streaming down her face, saying,
I'm sorry. I'm ashamed. I will give you my outfit. It will fit you. It's peach, not blanc like yours, but it is very pretty. Go, Marie, put it on.
Johnny, now in handcuffs on stage, hears the conversation and nods to Marie.
"Go. Now. Do it."
In minutes, Marie is back, adorned in her understudy's frilly costume. Saya, seeing her, takes center stage to announce,
"The show will go on."
He whispers into the ear of the policeman, who takes the cuffs off both Johnny and Philip, who still looks in pain. The crowd roars in approval, with applause that shakes the house. Marie's performance in The Pharaoh's Daughter is flawless. The audience loves her, and at the end of it all, she blows them a kiss, aglow with the radiance of an adored prima ballerina. She walks over to the curtains, takes Genevieve by the hand, and leads her out to center stage.
Sometimes we work so hard. We want it so bad. We go a little crazy. But in the end, we are in it together and have to be the wind behind each other's back.
Marie tells the enchanted crowd. With that, she embraces her understudy, and the crowd erupts in a standing ovation.
Merci, mon ami.
Genevieve whispers in Marie's ear,
You are a true friend, and that Philip is not exactly what he thinks he is. By the way, who is that new friend of yours?
Secret.
As the orchestra resumes and the crowd funnels out, a very distinguished-looking man, a noble character in fine haberdashery, approaches Marie on stage and engages her in light dialogue. Johnny observes the interaction and notices how Marie seems taken with the gentleman. As the suitor departs, he nods at Johnny, standing stage right. Marie, flushed from the excitement of the tumultuous night, takes Johnny's hand as they share a few private moments behind the curtain.
"You were great tonight, Marie. Truly stunning. Look, I better go. It seems like your problem is solved."
He whispers,
No, won't you stay? Tomorrow's performance will be free of all this lunacy. Please stay.
"Sorry, Marie. I can't. Really must."
With a forlorn look, she points to an alcove where a water pail has been placed, as in the Degas painting. The two star-crossed friends look at each other for a tender final moment in the foyer de la danse. She offers the back of her hand. He kisses it.
Oui, I like you very much. C'est vrai.
Johnny blushes and turns to leave.
Attendez. Wait. I don't even know your name.
"It's Johnny."
Johnny? What?
"Johnny Disaster."
That's très abnormal.
She burst out, laughing.
No, that name does not suit you.
Johnny shrugs, but Marie can see the pain in his eyes.
It definitely does not, mon ami.
Johnny kisses her on the cheek, gently. Marie hands him a carved beetle character, a tiny ornament gilded in gold.
Take this. It was one of the ornaments I wore on my dress for tonight's performance. It fell off, but I found it when you were fighting off Philip. I want you to have it.
She whispers, pecking him on the cheek, one on the right, one on the left, and hugging him.
Until we meet again. Au revoir et bon voyage, mon cher.
She pulls back the curtain. Johnny smiles at her, places the shiny scarab in his pocket, then leaps through the fabric, sobbing. Marie is startled when someone taps her lightly on the shoulder, on the strap of her bodice. She turns to see the director, hovering.
In all the commotion tonight, and you were marvelous, my dear. I seem to have lost my golden scarab, a rare, authentic Egyptian heirloom that harkens back to the wondrous times reflected in tonight's performance of Pharaoh's Daughter. Have you seen such a piece? And might your young friend have had it on him, or perhaps spoken about it?
Director, are you all right? I don't know what you are talking about.
Saya tosses a hard look at Marie and leaps through the curtain after Johnny.
Monsieur? Director?
Marie calls out as she pulls back the curtain. But he is gone. The 1st century BC walls of the ancient Temple of Dender are beginning to look familiar as Johnny re-enters the Met's Sackler Wing atrium. Saya, ripping off his fake mustache and once again disguised as a curator, is close behind. It's late. Johnny can see the lights of Fifth Avenue glistening through the windows in the atrium. He climbs into the sarcophagus for the night and picks up his comic book. As a soothing calm fills the crypt, he comes to a page in Pharaoh that jars him. It's a dead-on drawing of Saya, draped in ornately studded fabric, wearing a tall Egyptian headdress, sporting a long square beard, and looking sinister as can be.
I know that guy.
He mutters. He reads aloud the caption.
Soon I'll have the golden scarab, and thus the world by the throat.
As the night gets longer, the level of anxiety rises steadily at the Saster residence. Detective Natoli loosens his tie as he pushes a videotape, pulled from the security camera in the building's lobby, into a VCR player as Diane and Martin watch. He fast-forwards a few moments and hits pause as he sees the image of a kid touting a backpack and wearing a New York Yankees cap.
Is that your boy?
Yes, that's him!
Diane gasps, jumping up from the chair and bursting out into tears. Martin tries to console her as the detective replays the tape in slow motion. It reveals Johnny hiding behind the foyer's marble columns, then sneaking past the doorman. Whoosh!
It looks like a potential runaway to me. This was recorded at 6:32 this evening, so he's been gone about 5 hours now.
Natoli says with conviction. Diane and Martin look dumbfounded.
If you hadn't put so much pressure on him with the karate, the squash, the fencing, and those damn show-jumping competitions.
Diane accuses.
Me? What about you with the concert piano, college prep, AP French, Latin and Spanish? Me? Are you kidding?
Martin retorts.
Well, you were the one who took away his comic books.
Now listen here, Diane.
Natoli interjects, looking frustrated.
People, enough, stop. This is not the best use of time. Your kid is out there, and we need to find him. You need to start thinking really hard about where he could be.
Diane walks to the window overlooking the Met and stares out. Her chest heaves and tears flow down her cheeks.
I just want my boy back.
Martin paces the room.
No more tyranny of the clock. If the kid wants to sleep until noon on weekends, he'll sleep.
Meanwhile, inside the shuttered Met, a wave of homesickness overcomes Johnny. He decides it's time to head home, even though it's pitch black out. He can see the lights are on at his parents' penthouse. He pushes back the lucite cover of the sarcophagus.
Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I'm coming home.
Saya, overhearing the boy from behind a granite statue of a Nubian god, mutters sinisterly.
Not with my scarab, you're not.
He secretly follows. Johnny, hauling his backpack, hurriedly makes his way out of the Sackler Wing and the Egyptian halls, then through the Greek and Roman sculpture exhibits. As he's passing the portrait of Madame X by Sargent, he hears the sound of canvas tearing. Suddenly, the tall, elegant woman in the portrait, wearing a near strapless black dress, glides out to meet Johnny.
Excusez-moi, they say you solve problems. I think I'm being poisoned.
Saia reaches out from behind a pillar to grab Johnny but misses. Someone else taps the boy's shoulder with an eyeglass and he spins around as Saia recoils into the shadows. George Washington towers over Johnny, eyeglass in one hand, tipping his cap in the other. Behind the general, 10 Patriot soldiers from Lloyd's Washington crossing the Delaware stare at Johnny intently, dripping wet and shaking from cold. 2 Patriots carry the American flag, and 4 others carry oars.
My men and I are attempting to cross the Delaware. It's hard going. We are having trouble navigating the ice. Any suggestions?
Johnny is at a loss of words. But before he can respond, Madame X interjects in a high-pitched voice.
Pardon, General. I was here first.
Other portrait subjects and sculpted figures approach from all directions. Johnny, looking overwhelmed, backpedals and heads for the front door in the great hall.
Wait, where are you going, young man? The revolution is not yet complete. A new nation is at stake. Have faith,
General Washington says, as the gathered characters nod with sympathy.
I'm sure everything will turn out just fine for you, General. Really.
But...
Sorry. I have to go home now. My folks must be looking for me.
Johnny turns the corner and stops suddenly upon seeing a beehive of commotion in the great hall. It's abuzz with hundreds of characters that have come to life from the works of art. They hail from various corners of the world and from centuries back, a living mosaic of mystical provenance. They dance together, play together, cradle babies, brush their hair, pose in ridiculous contortions. For Johnny, a wide-eyed NYC kid, this is as good as the Yankees winning the World Series. Wow! From above on the second-floor veranda, Saia watches the action.
Curses! What are all these people doing here? They are trifling with my plan.
Clockmeister, Marie, and others rush up to Johnny to greet him. He gives them hearty hugs.
Look, boy, they are all here to see you, to seek your wisdom. You can't leave now. There are so many other problems to solve.
The Clockmeister tells Johnny,
How can I keep solving others' problems when I haven't even solved my own?
Marie curtsies demurely in her white tutu.
Oh, mon chéri, please don't leave. I'll miss you so. You are my true, real friend.
Holding the hands of the Clockmeister and Marie, Johnny bows his head in resignation.
I'm sorry, but you are all just a moment in time, and my own clock is ticking. You know the
tyranny of time,
bellows Clockmeister.
Be damned, the tyranny of time.
Madame X sees a light beam in the distance and screams,
It's the beam of the behemoth! Run, everybody! Run!
The room breaks out in sheer panic. Clockmeister and Marie lead Johnny and hundreds of characters out of the hall. They race through the cafe gift shop, where some stop to munch on candy and gaze at museum replicas of themselves. Clockmeister looks back to see the stragglers.
Put those sweets down and get out of here this instant! All of you!
He shouts. They rush into the Grace Rogers Auditorium with its 100-foot-high ceiling. Everyone ducks behind the seats, cowering in fear. Johnny holds Marie's hand tightly as they crouch down in the front row.
Everybody down,
commands the Clockmeister.
Quiet. The behemoth is upon us.
Whatever you do, don't stick your head out. The beam zaps everything in its path.
Marie warns. The door flings open. A powerful beam of light is cast along the interior walls, swinging back and forth. The art figures crouch low, holding their breath. The beam of the behemoth approaches, moving slowly, methodically across the back of the seats. It pauses for a long moment, then disappears. The auditorium door slams shut. The characters stand, nervously.
Whew, I thought we were history.
Sighs Clockmeister.
It's okay, everyone. No more active beamer. The behemoth has been evaded for now, but I suggest we tread very carefully. He's on to us.
Johnny and Marie realize that they've been holding hands the entire time. They exchange a sweet smile. Johnny's cheeks flush maroon.
Okay, troops, let's move out. Stay close and very quiet,
exhorts General Washington, hand across his heart. With the general, Clockmeister, Marie, and Johnny in the lead, the group tiptoes onto the great hall balcony. The entourage passes the white marble sculpture of Ugolino and his sons, all tormented and angst-filled from the pages of Dante's Inferno. Suddenly, Ugolino points his half-eaten finger in the distance behind the crowd as he sees a light coming toward them.
The beam is coming! Hell awaits you! Run!
Johnny, his arm around Marie's delicate shoulder, guides the group down the main stairs in a flurry, the beam shining directly behind them. They muster in the great hall, some sobbing from fear. They are caught. No escape. From behind a floral bouquet, Saia reaches his hand out to snatch the golden scarab from Johnny's pocket. A focused beam of light shoots directly into Johnny's eyes. He gathers his courage, clenches his fists, and steps out from the center of the crowd to confront the behemoth.
Beam of the behemoth. Show yourself. We are not afraid.
The beam of light continues to shine on Johnny's face.
Johnny? Is that you, John Saster?
Oscar? You? You're the beam of the behemoth?
The what of the who?
Saia retreats back into the shadows. Oscar turns off his flashlight and flips on the overhead lights. All of the characters huddle close and inch toward Oscar with caution.
What are you talking about, Johnny? And more importantly, what are you doing in here?
He asks.
I just came over to hang out. You know, read my comic book. But they all needed me.
Johnny replies to his old friend, pointing to the figures gathered around him in 3D grandeur.
I think you're a little confused, son.
Johnny stands on a marble bench to address the group. A hushed silence fills the hall.
Hey, everybody. It's okay. Really. The beam of the behemoth is my friend, who won't hurt you. He's not evil. Isn't that right, Behemoth? Oscar?
Who are you talking to?
Oscar looks around, confused.
Them.
Who?
Can't you see them? They're all around you.
See who?
Give me your glasses.
My glasses are just fine. Are you all right, Johnny?
Just give them to me, Oscar. Please.
Oscar hands Johnny his old wire-framed glasses. The boy wipes them with the sleeve of the Clockmeister's costume and hands them back to Oscar.
Oscar, they thought you were a monster.
A monster? Who thought I was a monster?
Oscar asks, putting his glasses on.
They did.
Johnny waves his hands toward the gathered figures. Oscar clutches his chest in shock. He sees Renaissance women, kings and queens, peasants, clergy, matadors, Madame X, turbaned Clockmeister, and Tiny Marie. He approaches Madame X in her black satin dress and touches her arm apprehensively.
Singer-sergeant Madame X from Paris.
Yes, oui, c'est moi,
she replies, adjusting her jeweled straps.
It's so nice to meet you in person, madam. You sure are lovely. Très jolie. But try cutting back on the arsenic and get a little sun. Too much time in the salon.
Thank you for reminding me. I will, bien sûr.
That was Madame X, one of my favorites.
He whispers to Johnny, not wanting others to hear. Johnny follows Oscar as he mingles through the crowd. Clockmeister bows formally to him.
It's you. Did you know Rembrandt, the great Dutch master?
Indeed, fine sir, I did and do. He's a most agreeable and learned man. I'm not sure why he chose a scruffy old useless man like myself as one of his subjects. Was an honor, truly.
Ah, now I remember,
Oscar says, turning to Johnny.
He was the one you dumped ice cream on.
Yeah, but we've straightened everything out. We're good.
General Washington approaches.
So let me understand. This old man with this luminescent looking-glass contraption in his hand is the loathsome, universally feared beam of the behemoth?
Johnny nods. General Washington turns to his men.
Arrest him.
3 patriots pull out their rifles. while others hold Oscar's arms behind him. Johnny intervenes, pulling his friend away.
Stop. He didn't do anything. It was all just rumors. Unproven talk, random fear. He loves you guys.
If you love us so much, then why did you make our friends disappear with your ghastly beam?
Asks Vincent van Gogh in his yellow straw hat.
Make your friends disappear. Why, my God, it's you, Vincent.
Oscar is speechless for a long moment. He turns to Johnny.
That, my friend, is the greatest post-impressionist of all time. This is all too much. But what are they talking about? Disappear?
Well, Were you shining your flashlight on paintings for some reason? Making them somehow vanish?
Johnny asks. Oscar thinks hard, still worried about the look of panic in the eyes of the huddled figures.
Oh my. I think I know what happens,
he says pensively, running his fingers through his curly hair.
What? Oscar. Tell them.
Before a painting is shipped out to another museum on loan, I like to sit for a while in front of it and have one last long look before it goes. I'm getting old, and it may be the last time I would have the honor of laying my eyes on it. It's one of the benefits of working the night shift.
So,
Johnny asks,
they're not really being gobbled up by a laser-powered behemoth?
Heck no. They just go to different museums all over the world so others can admire them. It's just temporary.
A collective sigh of relief can be heard. Those gathered smile and hug each other. Some dance a jig, others drink from gourds filled with wine.
That is very good news indeed. A relief without parallel,
announces Clockmeister. Oscar straightens his tie, buttons his blazer, and addresses the characters.
I've gotten very attached to all of you, you know, in the many years I've worked here and walked these halls. You're like family to me. It's been my honor to protect you.
Marie pokes Oscar's arm in a fun way.
Protect us? You've been scaring the wits out of us. Why didn't you just introduce yourself?
Johnny smiles at Marie and steps in front of the crowd. He shakes the hand of his old friend from the Met.
Well, from now on, you can all consider yourself introduced. And if you have any problems to be solved, you can ask Oscar. He's way smarter than I am.
Suddenly, the shrill sound of blaring sirens can be heard outside the museum. Blue lights flash. Oscar pulls Johnny aside.
Oh, Lord. I hit the silent alarm when I heard noises down the hall. I didn't know it was you. How did you do it? Where were you hiding all this time?
Remember showing me the mouse? In the sarcophagus of Weirschneffer.
That's where you were all night? In there?
Not exactly, but part of the time. I just wanted a quiet place to hang out and read Pharaoh.
Ah. Well, thank you for helping me see them. They're miraculous. Truly.
Just then, a voice booms from a loudspeaker outside the towering main entrance door on Fifth Avenue.
This is the police, NYPD. Come out with your hands in the air. We've got the building surrounded.
Oscar heads toward the exit.
I'll stall them so you can have time to say goodbye to your friends. Hurry.
Oscar unlocks the door and walks out with his hands up, squinting in the police spotlight. Atop the marble steps leading into the museum, he's surrounded by an army of armed law enforcement officers. He holds up his badge.
It's okay. False alarm. I'm security here.
The police lower their guns. Inside the Met, the characters have retreated to one of the side galleries and gather around Johnny to bid him adieu. Marie approaches him, her hand outstretched as if she were on stage performing.
You won't forget us, will you?
Never.
Embracing Johnny, Marie kisses him on his forehead. He blushes before the crowd. Clockmeister approaches to break the awkward moment.
You've been so good at solving problems for others. Is there perhaps one that we can solve for you in return, my young friend?
Well, that's nice of you. But no, not really. I have to admit, my life until now has been a bit of a disaster. I guess you could say it sort of goes with my name.
Johnny replies, full of doubt and resignation. The characters look at each other, chatting and stirring.
But you're not a disaster.
Clockmeister exclaims.
You're smart, courageous, clever, fair. And did I say clever? You will go on to do great things, and I would wager my last guilder that you will become famous. Have faith, believe in yourself, and care not what others expect of you. That name does not represent who you are, nor do you justice.
You really don't think so?
Indeed not. Now, let me think.
The old man replies, pacing back and forth in front of the crowd.
I've got it. Why don't you just drop your middle initial? Drop the D.
Oui,
Shouts Marie.
just Johnny Saster. Drop the D. Parfait. Good idea.
Oui, le D does not suit you.
Echoes Madame X, a look of boundless compassion in her twinkling eyes.
It does not honor you, fine young patriot.
Agrees General Washington.
From now on, you will no longer be the disaster you never in fact were.
Johnny thinks for a moment.
Yes. John Saster. Sounds good. I like it. Done.
A chorus of, drop the D, you will see, echoes through the gallery as the characters shake his hand and wish him well. Johnny lets the kind words and good cheer wash over him. He walks toward the entrance door, opens it, and peeks out. He's startled to see scores of police cars out front, and Oscar being questioned. A bejeweled hand slams the door shut from the inside. Saya grabs Johnny by the back of the neck.
I'll make a mincemeat kebab out of you if you don't give me the sacred scarab. I know you have it.
I'm warning you. Back off, for the last time.
Saya lunges for Johnny's coat pocket and tears it with a knife. Johnny fights him off and pulls the glistening amulet out of his jacket. He holds it up high.
You want the scarab. Come get it.
Johnny shouts,
Azum. Mazay.
And a laser-like beam shoots out from the mystical beetle figure. It burns through Saya's outstretched hand and incinerates the rest of his figure instantaneously. The other characters cheer. Johnny grabs his ferrocomic and turns to the final page. He sees a sketch of Saya back in ancient Egypt, enchained and looking miserable.
Right where you belong, you sketch.
When Marie comes up to him, he gives her the scarab.
Keep this. It's yours. It is powerful in ways I don't understand. I gotta go now. Goodbye, Marie. Goodbye, Clockmeister, and everyone. I'll never forget you.
John bows modestly and opens the heavy museum door. As he exits, police flashlights illuminate his face. He waves to Oscar and walks over.
Who's the kid?
Asks the officer in charge.
His name is Johnny D. Saster.
Oscar replies, matter-of-factly. Some of the officers can be heard chuckling. John tugs Oscar's jacket and whispers in his ear.
Sorry. Correction. This is Johnny Saster.
Oscar says. Johnny tugs Oscar's coat sleeve again. Oscar leans over to hear.
Wait. Correction. John Saster.
Oscar announces. A policeman gets on his radio.
Tell Detective Natoli that we found John Saster in front of the Met. He's fine.
Diane and Martin Saster sprint across Fifth Avenue and up the steps of the Met. Oscar has his arm protectively around the boy's shoulder.
Where have you been, son?
Diane asks, her hands trembling.
Here.
You were here all night?
Martin asks, in a disbelieving tone.
Dad? It seems more like centuries.
Oscar gives a reassuring look to the parents.
I found him in the Great Hall. He wasn't doing anything amiss. Just reading a comic book.
He pulls Detective Natoli aside.
Look, don't be hard on the kid. He didn't mean any harm. I've known him since he was in a stroller. I'll owe you one.
The detective nods.
Fine, but if he ever does something like this again, it's straight to juvie.
Natoli walks up to Johnny, looking stern and severe.
You worried your parents something awful, kid.
Sorry.
Johnny replies, giving his mom and dad a big hug.
Promise. Never again.
Consuelo, out of breath from the long climb up the Met stairs, greets Johnny and pinches his cheek.
Got some hot rice pudding waiting for you.
It's just you in the dark, fulfilling up your arms with pictures out of magazines. You cut out all the shapes, you put them all away. Now I'm here to history, and that's not fair. And it talks like you, and it used your words, and it wears your clothes, and it won't, and it won't leave. I found a new way of filling out the space with shadows out of bad dreams. You pulled me from the leaves, and with a weighted hand, I found a trick for vanishing. And I waited there, and I talked like me, and I used the same word, and I wore these clothes. We're not going back. Other things that won't return. 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 We're not making history to walk out on the plains. 1,000 miles of reverie to kill you and you stay. It all disappears. disappear.
Electric acid.